Welcome to the Amanda Effect, where I thrive to inspire, encourage, and uplift you through life's journey. I'm here to help educate you on self-improvement in life's different categories, including family, careers, relationships, mental health, and so much more. So let's get started because I'm excited for you to feel the Amanda Effect. Welcome to the Amanda Effect. I am your host, Amanda Dukes, and my lovely co-host, Topher.
Guys.
Did you miss us? We missed y'all.
Not you.
No, nobody missed y'all. Oh. It's okay. Kidding. So we went on a mini hiatus here, guys, but we are back in effect in the Amanda Effect. That was funny. That was somewhat of a dad joke, just a little bit. Anyways, I hope everything has been well. Topher, tell me, what did you do with your time off?
Well, somehow you went off my screen, so I don't know how to be doing all of this, so it scared me for a second.
He forgot how to do all of this, y'all. This is gonna be an interesting show.
Anyhow, I just was working. That's it.
Work.
Pretty much.
That's fine. That's basically what I was doing, just kind of getting myself back together, taking a mental break. I try to practice what I preach. We all have limits. We was going hard for a good few months in a row, and we needed some time off. I needed some creative space to get back into it, and we have some amazing topics for you guys coming up. So I'm super excited. And we decided to do a live show once a month. I'm super excited about that. I went live on my birthday, February 21st. If any of you missed it, go ahead and catch it on Facebook, and it's also up on YouTube.
You couldn't just say you just had to remind people that it was your birthday.
Of course. Who doesn't? Like, what? Of course. It was my I went live for my birthday, specifically. We talked about an amazing topic. It was beautiful. So I definitely suggest you guys check it out if you have not. So yeah, that was so much fun and it went so well. Loved interacting with everybody. That I decided to do it once a month. Topher obliged. I mean, he had an option, but not really.
She was like, keep it consistent.
I love how you said it like it's a bad thing. God forbid I want to be consistent. I'm a little inconsistent with these glasses today, though. So let me tell y'all, while y'all looking at my beautiful halo today in my eyes, try not to get too distracted. For those of you who are listening on audio, you made the right choice for this episode because I can put my contacts in and I have an eye infection. And so, yeah, I'm a little annoyed, but it's fine. I'm glad my camera ain't close up because it's still a little puffy, still a little red, nothing too serious. Didn't lose no vision or anything. Just one of those fun things about having sensitive eyes. And I promised y'all I wasn't going to show up in pristine condition every single time. Plus, here at the Amanda Effect, you can come as you are. So here I am.
You sound like a non-denominational church.
Wow. Wow. I don't know whether I should be offended or not. I'm not sure. I've been to a couple of those. I mean, I have a few complaints, but I need to explain that insult for me, please.
No, come as you are. Do your thing.
Oh, yeah. See, the difference is I mean that. I mean that. I feel like there's a little bit of rules and stipulations sometimes. It comes with judgment in some places, which we talked about on the last episode. So if you guys didn't get a chance to listen to that, definitely go listen to that. If you go to church, went to church, have an issue with church, anything, I want you guys to listen to that episode because we get real and I love it. So yeah. But today we're talking about one of my favorite topics. I've mentioned it several times before on here, but it is on opinions. And basically how they don't belong everywhere. Your opinion, yes, yours specifically, does not belong everywhere. And that's okay. That's know why?
She got so jumpy when I told her she sounded like a non-denominational church. She was trying to tell me that my opinion didn't belong in her space.
I did not, because I just needed to know the purpose behind it. So I needed to know how to clap back or if I needed to clap back. But thank you. I clap. Oh. But basically, how your opinions belong everywhere because you haven't experienced everything. You don't know everything. You don't have an actual opinion on something. You can have an opinion. That doesn't mean it belongs wherever you're trying to put it. Good? Good. Okay, we're going to start with our first one, our favorite one.
Things that I can say to go off of that, but
I want you to go ahead. No, we've been gone for too long. I need you to go ahead and come out guns blazing. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean,
Speak your mind.
No, it is totally off topic. It was not that it's off topic, but it's inappropriate. So it's.
And that has stopped us before.
Just saying, you're just not meant to put it everywhere. That's all.
And more than one topic, but we're not talking about the other one. We're gonna move on. So we'll start with parenting. It's just something that a lot of people can relate to. And it's something that I feel like we could save a couple people from getting cursed out with this one. So I just, with all loving hearts, need others to understand. Even if one, you are a parent and give your opinion, doesn't mean it belongs there because you're not the parent to that child unless they ask you for advice. Two, if you are not a parent, please, dear God, on heaven's green earth, do not give advice. Just don't. I just don't do it because honestly, we don't know what we're doing. There's no way you're going to know what we're doing. It's just simple as that.
That is true.
If you think that maybe one day you will never let your child have a cupcake at 10 o'clock in the morning, great. Keep thinking that. Sometimes peace over preference, okay?
Amen to that.
I seen Haley actually post the other day, you guys are potty trained. And she was like, so how many suckers is too much? And I was like, how many get you through, boo?
It's turned into either a day load of sugar or every time he actually goes, he expects like a $30-$40 toy. So I'm okay with 12 lollipops if that's what it means.
It literally is what it is. And then sometimes you think, why did I ever think that to begin with? Because truthfully, you're like, oh, no candy until after dinner. We were huge on that. We still kind of get stuck in that. But honestly, y'all want them to have that sweet as soon as possible. They need to run it off for the day. Because you're at dinner, 5 o'clock? Depends on how big the piece is. They still riled up by 8, bedtime and everything. Give it to them early.
Most, my wife is always like, I don't really know if we should do a popsicle before dinner. And I'm just like, oh, well, I let him, just go ahead, eat it now. Because at that point, then you can have dinner, bath time, and then you're ready to chill. I don't need you to get a popsicle or you want a popsicle at 7:30. And then it's like 10 o'clock comes around and you're like, I'm not sleepy. Well, I need you to be sleepy. So,
right.
So, yeah.
Then the next day is fun. Especially because young man doesn't like mornings. See, like me. We can go to bed at 8 o'clock. We still ain't gonna like the morning. So let me go to bed at 10, 11, 12. And I'm real. Now you're not gonna like me in the morning.
It's not fun.
It's not. So yeah, and another thing people give advice on, which I always struggle with this as a mom. So I'm glad that I have you to kind of balance this. Not that, first of all, my husband's a great father. But about advice about boys. Oh, you just have to let them be boys. Do this, do that. And I'm looking at them like, yeah, but they can have manners. I can still teach him something. That doesn't mean he can't act like a boy or whatever that means. But that doesn't mean he gets to jump off my couch 27 times and break things like bones. I don't know. That's just boys. You gotta let them get it out. Outside. You can go outside with that.
I struggle with this one because there are certain things that I'm just like, okay, he's just a boy being a boy. And then I'm just like, okay, well, like, where do you like kind of dial it, reel it back in at?
Right.
Because like these days, his favorite thing is to jump from either the ottoman to the couch or the couch to the ottoman, and then and like my wife will say, "Oh, it's fine," like it's fine. And I'm just like, yeah, until he falls and hurts himself, and then I'm just like, okay, and then he's like, "I'm fine, Dad, I'm fine," and I'm like, "You are right now, but then
Right.
if you miss a step, you cannot be." So I mean, like you run into stuff like that, or even with it, just like him and I, like we like wrestle and we are like rough, and so and then like he does the same thing with my father-in-law, and then he thinks that he
Right.
can do the same thing with my wife or my mother-in-law, and it's just like, no, like you can't do that, like you can't just basically like
Right.
hold and think that it's okay, and it's like, no, like you can't do that, like and so like at that point he is just a boy being a boy, but like
Correct.
be a boy being a boy and basically trying to manhandle your grandma. So
That's so true. Cause even like as y'all get older, you like you said, like you play with him rough and everything. My father-in-law plays with both my kids rough. But and my son and my nephew, my oldest nephew, they oh my gosh, like I can let them go. Cause I'm like, y'all know what y'all doing. Y'all get hurt, move on because y'all know that y'all how y'all playing and stuff like that. Cameron, you know he is way smaller than you. AJ, you know he bigger than you. So I don't know what to tell you. Have at it. And but with Amaya, Amaya will try because she was the only granddaughter for a long time. My twin nieces will be 2 this summer, and then my littlest niece just turned 1. So she's 11. So there's still such a big age gap. So she's always playing with them. So she wants to feel a part. So she'll try to be rough with them and play this stuff, but she's so dainty, you guys. Like she was like, "Ow!" I'm like, you guys really cannot play rough with her like that. And I think it's an important lesson for them to learn too. Like, hey, be gentle because not everybody is going to be as rough as you. You may even come across a young boy that's your age that doesn't want to be as rough as you. So, just be respectful and mindful of that and try to teach them when enough is enough. Also, something I get with boys will be boys, which this one is the one that I struggle with, is how gross y'all are unnecessarily. Y'all just want to talk about burping and farting and whatever else y'all doing. And I'm just like, why? Like, that's not appropriate. So, to balance it, I try to be like, okay, like at home, fine, whatever. Can you not do that in public though? Like, can we learn that there's a time and a place for this? I just don't understand. I don't like the need to say it out loud is the problem.
we just had like Riker and I were at a cupcake place or whatever. I don't know, maybe 2 weeks ago, and he burped, and like I thought it was funny, and he and so I laughed, he laughed, and then like this lady just like looked like, oh my gosh, and I was just like, well, one, he's a toddler, and like two, it's not like he burped in your face, so like move on.
Right.
And the lady who was getting us our cupcakes, she was just like, oh, like he's so cute, and like laughed, and I just was like, like say excuse me, and so he did,
Right.
and then the lady was like, oh, much better, and I just like looked at her and I was just like, all right.
Oh, your attitude is not much better. See, and this is what I'm trying to tell y'all. Don't do it. Top. Save yourself. Because here's my thing. I made a post about I don't like being that person who's mad and angry and dogging people out and stuff. I really don't like to. Will I? Yes. Yes, I will. I am just saying, but you get it twice as bad because I hate the fact that I'm acting like this and that I let you take me there. So we're just gonna go all the way there if I'm already there, baby. So now I'm twice as bad.
Yeah.
But it's so rude. It really is. Like there's a time and a place. People will correct you on what you let your child do and don't do. Like if your child is up, walking around, say I'm at Starbucks and I'm just sitting down. We just wanted to get out. And AJ's up, he's walking around and everything. And, they're looking at you. And I'm like, he's a kid. You want me to make him sit still for like 2 hours? No, I'm trying to get stuff done, boo. Like, I don't know what to tell you. He's not tearing nothing up. He's not jumping on top of tables. He is literally just walking around. So I used to get that look all the time because it drives me crazy. But nobody will speak up if somebody's being, racially profiled, if somebody's getting abused in the streets. You guys want to pull out your phones and record that, but nobody wants to say nothing and do nothing on that. But when my child is being a child and they're not childing how you think they should child, then you want to talk. That doesn't make sense to me. But I get disagreed with a lot, and I'm okay with that finally, for the most part.
You have that.
You do, and I don't. Stop. Take a pause. Does my opinion really belong here? Is it gonna really make a difference? Okay, now, all right, move on, Karen. Next topic.
All right.
Next topic, which still belongs there. The social inequalities, whether it be of any race, any minority, whether it be Asian, whether it be Hispanic, whether it be Black, I don't really, the LGBTQ community. Unless you have a specific, unless you are, one, in that racial category, two, have experienced said racism or prejudices, or three, had to defend one of your children for it, which still is a very, very fine line for me. Please stop telling people how we actually feel, should think, and everything else. Because unless you walked around as a Black man, I don't want to hear how Black men think or should think and feel about, they're just sensitive to it. That's why they think they're always being racially profiled. And when something traumatic happens to you, don't you look for it and, wait for it? If a woman gets molested, isn't she always leery of men?
To some extent, yeah.
Exactly. So stop. It don't make any sense. People get so mad. I'm like, oh, okay, so you're Black? No? Oh. Have you ever been Black? No, cool. I don't want to hear your opinion. My opinion matters. No, it doesn't. It does not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in this situation. It does not.
If you're about the kids is that I understand that it is a fine line, but I always will respect the fact that it is a parent's first job to advocate for their child. So in that position, if that is whoever, it is your job to correct whatever could be wrong in that situation. Obviously, you might not be able to fully identify with your child in that moment, but it is your job to stand up and advocate for your child at all costs. Because at the end of the day, like, that's your child, your responsibility. You helped them get here on this earth.
I agree.
But like, you can't go into it saying that, well, we're the same and this, that, and the other. And like, that's where the fine line for me comes in, because like, for someone who has a gay child, if you're not gay yourself, you don't understand. Right. So if you adopted, basically a Hispanic child, you can't and if you are a race other than theirs, you can't fully identify with them. You can't. And that is where the fine line for me comes in, because you have no idea what it's like to really be in their shoes. You can only basically voice upon what happens in your home and whatever is happening under your care.
But you said the right word. You said advocate. And you can advocate exactly like that. Like, no, I don't know what it feels like, but I have a mixed child and she's explained this is how she feels. Absolutely. Please do that. Parents, I encourage it, because if nobody's going to stick up for your children, you have to.
Yep.
No matter where it is. If one of my children are gay and I'm like, I can't tell them like how they feel, but I can talk to them like, hey, how do you feel about this? Does this actually bother you? I've asked people a question that I know who are in that community. I'm like, does it actually? Something I really got, kind of they snatched me back was when you're like, oh, this is my gay best friend, instead of just saying, this is my best friend. Like how that's different, like how I would be offended if somebody said, oh, this is my Black friend. Like, that's rude. And I'm right, that's rude. We would be so angry. But those things, those conversations, and if you have an opinion and you're not sure, you've never actually spoke to about it, before you fix your mouth to say, I have a gay sister or brother, or I have a black cousin, go talk to them before you get on public platforms saying what you say. Because honestly, somebody's going to tear you up, and you are not, you're going to have the right intentions. I do not believe people come into these with the wrong intentions all the time. I don't. But there's a right and wrong way of doing it. Like, this is 2021. We'd have had these conversations way too many times. There's been too many discussions. You guys should have it by now of who you can and cannot talk to me. And Topher has said multiple times, y'all can talk to us. You can't talk to me about any LGBTQ community issues or Hispanic, but if you want to know mixed and black people issues, y'all come talk to us. Come ask some questions over here. And I've had people actually ask me. The hair is the hair. This is probably the biggest issue that I get into conflict with, because I can't get, and this is nothing, it's mostly white women and white women who are hairdressers. Haley, I love you. So this is not going to you. I'm just saying what I experienced, okay? That they don't understand. It's just hair. If they come to me and ask me for it, is it wrong? And I'm like, it's not a right or wrong thing per se. It's just inappropriate. And it's not that honestly, if you want to ruin your fine hair by putting box braids in it, baby, go ahead. But I need you to understand the reasoning behind we are saying we want you guys to stop culture appropriation, and because we do it as a need for our hair. Yeah, it looks great. I'm not gonna lie, but it's a protective style. That's why people started doing it. And it's not accepted in most workplaces. Wearing my hair curly was not accepted. I'd still only half accepted, even though they passed whatever bill that was, but they still deem it to be less professional. So I don't want it to be cool or a fad because white women decided to make it cool. This has nothing against white women. It's just that we want to be able to be ourselves because we are us, period. Not because white people made it okay. So that's the biggest thing for me. But you will have hairdressers. It's just hair. I don't get the big deal. If I know how to do it and somebody wants to sit in my chair and I do it, okay, cool. And then we go, all right, y'all want to get it done, fine. But can y'all at least support the black community while you're doing it? Go to a black hairdresser and get your dreads or whatever you want in your hair.
See, I look at that and I'm just like, one, I think a lot of people have to go wherever they're comfortable. So if you have someone who is getting whatever done to their hair, and if the space is not welcoming or things like that, then that is where
I'll give you that.
You have the line. So I mean, you can have someone who is, just not like, basically someone who can go to, we'll just say like a black salon in the hood, okay? But they are a black person who is from Jackson, live in Jackson, and they don't know anything about what the hood is like. And it can be very uncomfortable. So they might need to find them someone else who can help take care of their hair in a more comfortable space for them. And so like you have situations like that, but then you also have it to where you do see the fact that, all these people, especially what you see now, white women who do want to wear like lace front wigs and stuff like that because the Kardashians were doing it. And now it's a thing for you, but do you realize who they got it from? Like, do you know the history of it there? And that is what is frustrating, to where it's just like, you can do whatever you want to do. Yeah, it is just hair, but you can't just keep on copying pieces and parts of what are suiting to you.
Or at least if you're gonna do it, pay homage to it. Like, I know that there's people who they visit these places, like people go to Jamaica and stuff, and which I've heard different stories, but again, I'm not gonna touch on that because I've never been, nor have I actually talked to a Jamaican who's confirmed or denied this. But
not a Jamaican
they have
confirmed or denied.
Well, right. Well, because like I know that they have places where they want tourists. They set it up for tourists to come get their hair braided, to do stuff, different stuff like in their culture, dress like them. But you're paying homage to them. You're supposed to be learning. It's an experience. And that I totally understand. But it's not being done like that most of the time. They're doing it for a fad. Like, oh, this is cute. It's more than just cute. Don't get me wrong, it's cute. But it's more than just that. But I love that you brought up that point, because that is something very true that we do need to take into consideration as a community, because there's not spaces where everybody is welcome. But also for hairdressers too, it's difficult because they don't teach you. They teach you very, very little about ethnic hair in hair school. So if it's just hair and everybody can do it, then it would be taught like the regular curriculum too would be a part of it. I think they said they spent like maybe 2 weeks max. I don't even think they said fully a month. But let me be clear.
It does depend on where you go.
Correct.
And so for the most part, yeah, it is not a, it's not basically, it's just like African American history. It's not a huge part of our curriculum in America. So it's not focused on how it should be focused on, and or how it could be, rather say. And but at the end of the day, like I said, it does depend on where you go. I will go ahead and acknowledge the fact that the hair industry has started to do different things. Like you are allowed to be like a licensed braider, to where like,
yes,
and especially like, I mean, if you're used to being able to braid whoever's hair at home, and you know that you're good at it, then go ahead and get your braiding license, and then that'll allow for you to make more money. And
especially in barbershops too, actually, because they want people who lock and braid in barbershops like bad. They can't get people. So that's really that's like, I think that's kind of where, of course, it started with men, but that's where it started. They need they needed braid. Listen, we'll take what we can get at this point. It is what it is. I don't think that you're never going to get anywhere without the help of other people. For the industry. Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. The women are not going to get equal rights without the support and help of men. Black people are not going to get the equal rights without the support and help of white people. It just is what it is. You have to have the support of the superior. It just is what it is. Those are just facts. You have to have the support of the superior for things to happen. And I don't like it, but I didn't set the system up. So,
but yeah,
but no, those are great points. See, this is why I love this conversation, because you bring in different perspectives and things that I didn't think about. Because for me, I always call myself a chameleon, which is weird because I hate chameleons and lizards and whatever those little tiny things are. Anything that has to do with that, y'all, I can't. So
a gecko.
A gecko. What's the little things that people have now?
I only got a dog and get nothing else.
Don't get nothing else. But anyways, yeah, but I'm a chameleon. I blend, and my mom always used to laugh because like I could be around like my white friends and blend, or I could be like in the hood. I like went to some girl's house, got my hair braided. She lived straight up in the hood. She literally was dealing out of her house. And first of all, questionable, mom, that you let me go over there, but she worked at the restaurant my mom owned. But I was just like, yeah, I went. I don't know. But I was also young. I feared a lot less than I do now. I can't even walk across the street without thinking somebody looking at me. So. I was a thug back in the day. I quit. No, so I blend. So I forget that not everybody can be comfortable everywhere, or like, not their experience. And like I said, I've been fortunate. You can go, my mom's side of family is from West Virginia. We sit, drink beer, listen to country music. My dad's side of family is my dad's side of the family. Oh yeah, we range, because we have I have some Sadiddy people on my dad's side of family, and then I have the ghetto side, where we drink, party, have fun, listen to music, we dance, we are loud. So I got a pretty good melting pot on both sides. So I forget that it is something that, because even like you said, even if you're Black and grew up in Jackson, that doesn't mean you're going to be comfortable in the hood. That's not what you're used to. And nor do I expect anybody to, oh, you Black, you should be comfortable in the hood. Nope. I don't think people in the hood should be comfortable in the hood, but that's another topic.
That's called survival.
It is, but that don't mean you got to be comfortable. For those of my audio listeners, Topher is sipping his coffee. It's not tea, it's coffee. This is what
Yep.
he does to keep from, I don't know why he does this, because he don't do this any other time. He only does this on the show. He just keeps himself from saying the things that he wants
No,
to say.
I do it in real life. If I just
No, you just keep names and details that I want to know in real life. You give me what you think. I wouldn't have asked you to come on here if I didn't think you spoke your mind. Y'all, do y'all follow Topher on Facebook? He speaks his mind.
And then I just exclude certain pieces and parts because I won't fully expose you because that's not my business.
Because that's your business.
So,
oh my God, I love her. Sorry, if y'all know who that is, it's Tabitha Brown. Yep. And her whole family is gorgeous. Oh, I love them. Anyways, that's totally off topic. Yeah, so now something that I love, because this is something I've seen going around with tax refunds coming, the new talk of the stimulus check and things like that. People giving out business advice.
Oh, you about to come for me because I give it out every day.
Okay. How long have you been in business though? There are tiers to this. And me and my husband talk about this often because let me be clear. I will steer you straight to my husband when you ask me business advice. Yes, y'all, I'm running all my business. But let me tell you, if it wasn't for the help of that man, it's just not everybody, because I believe that everybody can have a passion and do what they're doing. I do not believe that everybody should have a business. I don't. I really don't. I am running mine, but I promise you the very second that I get enough money, I will have a business manager that I will pay good money to handle all that stuff I do not want to handle. Because baby, no, it makes me not want to have a business. I'll go back to working for somebody else. This is too much. Numbers give me a headache. Man, we went and did our taxes. I literally came out there with a headache and an attitude. My husband was like, what is wrong with you? I was like, I hate talking about this stuff. I didn't do well in math.
I guess. But I do get it. And I will say, like, I have gone basically toe to toe with people about giving my professional opinion about how people should use their money, especially with like getting their tax returns and then getting a stimulus check. And so like all of that, being able to give my opinion on that. And some people feel like it belongs and some people don't. And like it basically pertains to this topic that your opinion doesn't belong everywhere. But how I do it, it is more of a constructive criticism. So if you have goals and ambitions and things that you know that you want to accomplish or things that are a priority to you and things that you need, then I don't see the point in waiting outside for a new pair of J's. I don't see the point in going on a vacation when there's other things that need to be taken care of. If you have collections on your credit report, how about we get that handled before you choose to go on a cruise? There's things like that to where I will give you my advice and base it upon your specific situation. And that's what I can do. Now, if you choose to agree or disagree with me, that's fine. That's on you. But you can't come to me in these situations asking me for help. And then I see that you make poor life choices.
There you go. And now, well, let me ask before I go with my spiel. Are these people that, love, call a friend, or are these random people?
I mean, they can be
all of the above.
Yep. Or they can be clients because if
First of all, let's just start with he's like a financial advisor. What is your actual title?
I'm a mortgage loan officer.
But you deal with finances. So you know finances. So this isn't really off topic. This isn't outside. That's like if somebody talks to me on a podcast or they show me a show, I'm like, the sound was off, but you look good. Like, it's just kind of a part of nature. Like, I get what you're saying though. I do. But I think that where me and you fall sometimes is that we realize we're giving opinions nobody asked for. And then you have to be like, you know what? I respect you didn't really ask me. Do what you do. That's your life. But sometimes I have to say it. Now, if you're in my inner circle, if I love you and you come to me, I'm always going to be honest. I'm always going to hold you accountable. You can't tell me, which I know me and Topher for the same, like you can't tell me you want to do better and get these goals. And then I'm gonna be like, all right, cool, if we getting these goals, but then you can't go on vacation. You want these goals, you're gonna have to pay that credit card off. Like, like we have steps to take to this. There's levels to this, and some people aren't willing to suffer to get the longevity of life. And I think that that's something that even I had to learn. Aaron is naturally good at it. He'll starve himself to make sure that he gets to where he needs to be. And I'm like, baby, I need to go. Like, can we eat out at least? Like, we literally have like, can we eat out once a week? I'm not cooking every day. Cooking every day. No, but like honestly, that's just that's real life. That really is. And I think and I also believe it's a part of the approach, like you said, more of a constructive criticism sort of
Yeah,
thing.
and that's how it's different for me. Like in those situations, to where if like beforehand, I did mortgages, car loans, personal loans, and things like that, and so I would get really frustrated with people to where if I could see your bank statement and I see where your money went, and then you tell me that you need more money to continue to make poor choices, I'm going to tell you how I think you should approach the situation. So then that way you don't have to keep coming back to see me to pay other people in order to survive. And so, but I also get a huge part of that is the lack of financial literacy with specific groups of people. And that doesn't matter if you're white, black, or whoever. It means that you are a lot of times a product of your environment. So
Right.
there are some people who are uppity and they just have terrible spending habits, and then they file bankruptcy every couple of years, and they never met anybody like me who just be like, what are you doing? So, and in order to avoid that, we got to make some changes. But most people will just tell you what you want to hear to keep
Right.
getting money.
Exactly.
So
And it is very different. And first of all, people's finances never to be discussed unless they ask you specifically for advice. However, that has changed a lot. I don't know about you, Topher, but growing up, when I had a job, my parents were very clear. You don't need to let nobody know how much you make. Like that was like we understood that these were things that you kept to yourself as far as how much you make a month. I mean, not if they reach you. You said no, you weren't taught that. Oh, okay.
no, it was. I guess I would say like a little, because like how I found out like at my first job that I made less money than somebody else was for asking other people what they made.
You did not.
Yes, I did.
People. Oh no, I did not ask people what they made, and they did not know what I made. But also, I guess for me, I was a decent worker, so I usually always got the raises. I usually always got like after the 39 days, like I was cool, like I was up there. Huh?
Trying to say I wasn't a decent worker?
I didn't say that. I was just saying, so I never asked anybody because chances are somebody who had been there, which I got in that situation a couple times, that I was making, which I felt bad, but at the same time, like I didn't think that I didn't earn it, but I don't know their story, that we were making the same when they had maybe been there a year or so, like, longer than me. Like, so I moved up quickly because I was just ambitious. I was young. They liked that I didn't care to work because I actually worked. I didn't mind going to work, but that was because I wanted out the house, but that's a whole different story. But so they liked that I wanted to come to work and I showed up. And I was back then I was way less poetic. I'm not poetic now, y'all, but just imagine me less poetic with my words back then. I was very matter of fact, but I always did it with a smile. Yeah, I guess not much has changed. But I think that they respected that because they knew things would get done. But I absolutely have gotten to those situations with jobs that, if there was a problem to arise, they always got shocked that I handled like a disgruntled customer who was clearly wrong with the utmost professionalism, and that shocked them. Like, because of how I came off on the back end. Like, don't get me wrong, I know how to treat my customers, I know how to handle them professionally, but I'm gonna go back in that room and say everything I need to say to them. So I know that they were like worried. Actually, recently, my last job, my final job at the hotel, people always try to get away with stuff at the hotel, and there was somebody that was going off, and I just stepped in and I was like, hey, listen, I get that you're, because she was like going off on my assistant manager, and it was a female. So I felt like I was like, okay, let me try and talk to her because she's popping off at him because she feels like he won't actually, do anything. Not that I wouldn't done anything, but people's tone change when they talk to certain people. So I was like, hey, listen, I get you're upset. It is what it is. Right now, what's best. So no, nobody has to get called. Like I just suggest that you leave. We will contact you. You can do whatever you need to do. That's fine. I will give you every number that you need. But right now, we just need you to go. And they were like, yo, I thought you was going to come over there and go off. I was like, why do y'all stay thinking I'm going to go off on people? I don't understand. That is preserved for a particular purpose. And it's not for disgruntled clients or customers. Like, that's just not where it's going to be because they'll never deserve that part of me. That's just a part of the job and the business or whatever. So I totally get it. But I just think, where was my point going with this? And it's gone. Y'all, happy Monday. I'm telling y'all, we recorded this on a Monday and I'm just out of it. But that just goes to show you that that was for people who we don't ask how much they make. That was that, because I was a decent worker. I went on a whole tangent about myself for no reason. But you're welcome. You guys learned something new about me today. But my facial expressions apparently aren't quiet either. So
no, I feel like, and that's a thing though for people, is that I'd rather, when somebody's facial expression and body language tells on them, I'd rather you just say what you got to say. Please keep the same energy vocally, or I need you to turn away from me so I don't see nothing.
No. I wasn't raised that way, because I'm telling you what, those facial expressions, that body language, those are warning signs. My father is a very particular.
That's what I mean.
That means okay. No, that means okay. Then either I need to remove myself, or you need to remove yourself from the situation. You're absolutely right. My father, he's a very well put together young Black man, and he, when he's mad, y'all know it. They used to keep because everybody about to go off. I'm like, y'all think that's funny? It's not funny. If he gets to going off, I'm leaving. I've seen that man go off. That is not cute. Y'all can sit here and enjoy it all you want to. He's warning y'all, because when he gets quiet, we're a talkative bunch, y'all. Have you met me? Yes, I'm a straight descendant from my father. We talk, we are loud, okay? And he holds no punches. So when he gets quiet, baby, you should get quiet because he's done. And he grew up in Highland Park. If you are from Canton, you know what that means. And he grew up, it was called Killer Park apparently back then. Who knew? Let's just say it was the hood. That man was skinny. He was not as tall as everybody. So what he had was what he had. And he made use of it, like you said, survival. So that's still in there. There was no talking to this man. When he stopped talking, that meant he was ready to fight. So once you were done talking, he was gonna hit you. So when he's quiet, I just remove myself from the whole situation.
I tell a lot of people that is your first cue when it comes to Black people, especially when you in certain places don't belong. Listen. I shut up.
Baby.
Scurry over.
Nobody scares me more than my older sister. She is 2 inches shorter than me, y'all. I'm 5'3". And listen, she does not talk. And she's not gonna give. If she's talking, you're safe, because she just means she's venting. When she's quiet, she does this really weird thing that's scary, because I didn't realize it until she said it, and then I paid attention every time she got really mad. She wears a ring. She will go like this and flip it so it doesn't hurt her when it hits you. Bro, that is psychotic. Don't mess with her. I'll be like, yo, run! Like, no, she flipped the ring. Like, baby, no. How did we get on this? We were talking about business. How are we here? This is what happens when you get in people's business when you don't belong there. That's what.
Just Black people get quiet. Y'all better.
We may may be many things. Quiet is really not one of them. But again, I'm unapologetically quiet at this point just because I tried to been stifled for so long. So I may take stuff. I take stuff to the extreme every once in a while. Y'all messaged Topher about starting the season back up. I was being so extra, and he dogged me for being extra. And then he came back the very next day being just as extra as I was.
It was about a topic that you wanted to talk about. I was just like, we not gonna do this to my.
You gonna quit pretending like me being extra is a surprise though either. You need to just expect the extra. That way, when you don't get it, it's a nice break. Huh?
And I said you was too lazy to text, and you're sending me all these freaking audio messages. And she was like, "Oh, it's a beautiful day outside. The sun is shining." And I'm like, "If you don't just
shining, the tank is great." I didn't want you to think. Okay, so no, because you don't just hit somebody up. This is rude, and this has come from my Black aunties. It's rude that hit somebody up and just be like, "Hey, I need this," or just start with a question. You're supposed to see how they doing, what's going on with life, and then go into the conversation. Sometimes I hadn't spoken to you in like 2 weeks, so I wanted to see how you was, wanted to tell you how I was, and no, I didn't feel like texting. I am not from this generation. I don't really prefer to text. If it's a quick, I like to use text for the purpose of texting something quick or to sneak. If I'm supposed to be on my phone, I can text you because I can't call and talk to you. I'm not trying to have a whole long, drawn-out business meeting in a text or any written form.
But I also am the person who, like, if I text someone, like, I will go ahead and just address whatever I need to address, and then like I'll follow up with like, "Oh, hey, I'm sorry, I forgot. Like, how are you?" So like, I get it.
Yes. Thank you for saying that on air.
No problem, Chameleon. No problem.
Changing my name. Next time y'all see me, if y'all watching this video, the bottom of my screen is gonna say Chameleon, ain't gonna say Amanda Dukes. The Chameleon Corner. It's a whole new podcast. So to sum it up for business wise, that we got so off topic with, but that was so fun. It is. Seriously, for business guys, just approach that with a conversation before you give advice, because some people really do not know a lot about business. I do believe some people are naturally business minded. Topher being one of them, my husband being one of them, Lucas Tyndale being one of them. They are very they don't have to try. For me, I have to try. It's a muscle that I have to build. Talked about this before. Things that not are naturally a part of you, that self-assessment that you can strengthen the muscle with. That doesn't mean it's gone forever, but so take some of that advice, hold some accountability within yourself, and be open to hearing that. However, like Topher said, if they want to take it, great. If they don't, you kind of got to leave them where they are. That's their business. It literally and figuratively their business. But I do that a lot with my clients. I work with creatives, so I think that it's easier for me. So whenever somebody comes to me and they want help with their podcast, always give them my upfront, honest, professional opinion and how I feel like things should be approached. However, that is their baby. It is their show. It is their podcast. It's their project. So I will give them my advice. They can take it. They can leave it. We will move how they need us to move. And that's just kind of how I run. And I think that that's really why people like working with me, because that's just how it is. Because you have a vision. If this is yours, I'm going to safely assume this is, the work that you're doing. You've sat and thought about this. God, you talk to God or whoever the higher up that you talk to or whatever, that you have felt this and you're like, no, I need it to be like this. And I will never take away from anybody's energy or feeling or the vibes that they want to get. Because I'm extremely specific about my stuff. And I need people to understand that, and vice versa. So I just try to give the same respect. And that really does work in life. For instance, even if somebody asks you for parenting advice, we give advice on here all the time. You take it or leave it, guys. It is what it is. Or take a piece of it and make it your own. Huh?
I said, yeah, it's not always going to be specifically for you. And who you can approach to ask advice from.
You should, at least. Not everybody in your circle. And I'm just going to give y'all a real quick tip. Your mama ain't one of them. She always, I love y'all. Because Listen, us moms, we go always view y'all as the baby that y'all are. Where we'll hold you in that spot, and it's not fair, and I don't like that I do it. I can't even buy my son's right size because honestly, in my head, he still is smaller than what he actually is. So that was not an insult to your mama. Y'all don't come for me, please. I love y'all. I said that and I was like, maybe should have explained it, but get somebody that's not even like that near and dear to you. You need an outside opinion. You need different perspectives. Is that what you said? Is that good?
You have to be mindful and careful who you go to pour your heart out to before you can actually, for you to know that you're going to receive what is actually meant to help you and not hurt you. And when it comes to opinions, most people's opinions are meant as jabs. They're meant to hurt you. So make sure you are seeking advice and giving advice and not your opinion, because your opinion doesn't belong everywhere. Someone's constructive criticism and advice, it has a place for those specific people who need to hear from you. Outside of that, keep it moving.
Agreed, 100%. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns about the topic that was discussed today, we invite you to comment on our YouTube channel. And if you have not yet, please subscribe, or hit our inbox, or write on our walls, Facebook, Amanda Dukes, Topher Lynch, or on my IG, Amanda Effect, and it's Topher Lynch on Instagram too, right?
Yep.
All right, so with that being said, I'm so excited to start this season 2 of The Amanda Effect. I appreciate you guys so much. Also, please don't forget that me and Topher do have our own businesses. While we're sitting here, I'm going to go ahead and do a shameless plug about them. If you guys need help starting a podcast, or you need help with production, photography, videography, please go ahead to my website, Dukes Multimedia, or as always, just inbox me. It doesn't have to be this formal thing. Let me know what you were thinking, and I would love to give you a free consultation with whatever service that you are thinking about starting. And I'll let Topher plug his clothing line and what he does as far as financial advising, mortgage loan officer. I was gonna hit him up till he starts talking about looking at bank statements and judging us. So I might get that together before I let him see
my I'm not even talking to you. No, but if you are in the market to buy a house, refinance your house, buy an investment property, need someone to kind of help guide you on what to do and how to do it, you can just reach me at one of my social media platforms, and that is at Topher Lynch on Facebook or Instagram. And if you would be interested in any of my clothing, like my sweatshirt I have on today, which is where it,
don't support me, just respect me. Ow.
just respect my hustle.
Oh, I can't see the rest of it. My bad.
So, but yes, and that is under Topher Artez Unlimited, and that is on Facebook and Instagram.
Awesome. I will try and tag those when I post this on YouTube, and then when I put it up, so they can get all that information. We love you guys. Thank you so much. And as always, be authentic to yourself and others. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Are you looking to finally get your podcast started? Or maybe you're looking to perfect the podcast you already have? Well, look no further. Dukes Multimedia LLC is here to help you with all your podcasting needs. We're here to help you grow and learn and make your podcast sound even more professional than you can imagine. Contact Dukes Multimedia LLC via Facebook or Instagram. Dukes Multimedia. Learn, create, produce.